done it. Michael Schumacher has won his home Grand Prix for the first time in a Ferrari. Confirmation of the result for you. 10 under 10 for Michael Schumacher. Both Williams drivers on the podium, very encouraging then for them. Rubens Barrichello in the second Ferrari, picking up 3 points from 4th place. David Coulthard lapped by Michael Schumacher, still finishing 5th, and Nick Heidfeld 6th in the Sauber. Let's go straight to the press conference. Still hasn't won a Grand Prix this season, won Pablo Montoya. We'll be right back to look at the key moments of the German Grand Prix. Michael Schumacher's won the German Grand Prix. 2 Williams on the podium, though. That should please technical director Patrick Head. He was very upset after the last Grand Prix in France. I reckon he'll be in a better mood here.
Patrick, that's much more like it, isn't it?
Yes, we've still got a problem with one of the red cars in front of us, but yes, Magny-Cours was a weak performance, and that was a lot stronger, so we've got to try and build on that.
Can you just clear up what happened to Ralph at the end? It looked like they were fiddling with the computer system, but I understand it was actually a pneumatic problem.
Yeah, there was a progressive loss of air pressure on the pneumatic system, and BMW played the call that it was safest to call him in and give it a recharge, but pity for Ralph, but at least he's still on the podium.
And it was a very brave decision not to change his tyres after you'd seen what happened to Raikkonen.
We were pretty certain that Raikkonen's problem was caused by a puncture, and we didn't think we had the same problem. Our car's much lighter than the McLaren on its rear tyres.
Yeah. So Ralf Schumacher having to be satisfied with 3rd place, Tony. He was very upset though, wasn't he, with Jarno Trulli, made his feelings known.
Yeah, he was. He felt that he'd been balked unnecessarily, and this is a case of drivers having to be really alert of what's going on behind them. But also the same thing, there's the shake of the fist from Ralph, and of course at this point, you know, he's charging down in 2nd place, he's needing to put that time in, and it's a drive-through penalty for Jarno Trulli. Now this is another problem for Ralph, because he's been out there setting fastest laps, trying to close the gap on his brother for the pit stop, and there is Villeneuve struggling back with engine problems, we presume, getting in the way of Ralph. He'd had a 21-second lead at that point, or cushion, coming into this pit stop. He lost 3 or 4 seconds behind Villeneuve. A great shame for Ralph.
I had an email about those blue flags from Peter Young in Nottingham. He says so many drivers were shown blue flags today. What exactly is the rule? How many corners can you go around before getting a penalty? What's the story, Tony?
Well, it's ultimately at the discretion, obviously, of the FIA and the race director and Charlie Whiting and Herbie Blash are watching carefully. But if you've ignored 2 blue flags, you get the 3rd one, then you'll come straight in. But basically, if you get motionless, it means there's a guy behind you wants to pass. If it's waved at you, get out of the way quickly.
Okay, by the way, on the ITV F1 website, you could chat live with Martin Brundle, putting on a bit of overtime Wednesday lunchtime on the ITV F1 website. It happened a little bit similarly there. It probably didn't affect the result of the race. Pit stop, Ferrari, problems for Rubens, clockwork for Michael.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's a rig for each driver, and as we've already said, the Intertechnique refueling equipment is standard. You're not allowed to touch it. What you are allowed to do is maintain it, and the teams maintain it meticulously. And what happened there is the fuel seemed to go in, didn't go in. The nozzle not going on quite square, the little needles come across and refuses to lock in. Different set of equipment for Michael Schumacher, and like it's been all season through, no problems whatsoever for him, and he just sails through to win the German Grand Prix.
When we leave the studio, there'll be a lot of red faces because of the sun. There'll be a lot of smiling Germans as well, won't there?
Tremendous. I mean, big homecoming for them. But I think what we should remember here is Ferrari have said we're not stopping, we're not giving up. The work we do now on the 2002 car is all going towards the 2003 car. We'll have a better season in 2003 because of this.
Little holiday for everybody involved with Formula One now. Tony, just briefly, finally, would you fancy Michael to get that 10th win in Hungary in 3 weeks' time?
I think McLaren will be very strong there, because this is a race they've predicted because of their very light chassis, and because of all the work there, they should be very good indeed. But don't forget, while the race teams all have a holiday, all the engineers will be working hard back at the base.
Thanks, Tony. Hockenheim highlights tonight at 11:50. 3-week gap then to our next Grand Prix in Hungary, and the normal F1 service from there throughout the weekend. New circuit here, some things don't change. Michael Schumacher has fed his Red Army. Let the party begin. Bye-bye.